Hello, Living Dead Dolls fans. This is Josh, aka Doggy Pants, from the Mezco boards, coming at you with Past Generation Toys for another Living Dead Dolls review. So, before I get started, I want to talk a little bit about Past Generation Toys. I want to thank them for letting me do these reviews. It's been a lot of fun. But I just got a box of dolls from them, 6 dolls in this one box, which is amazing. But it was packaged really well, and I just wanted to give them a bit of a shout out because a lot of times I've found with buying from online stores, they'll either put a doll in a box that is too small for it, and for collectors, especially collectors that are interested in keeping their dolls in the coffin ends up getting smashed in the process because the box gets knocked around on the UPS truck or whatever. Or a company will end up putting the coffin into a box that's far too large, and then they'll actually not put enough packing peanuts or packing materials, whatever kind they're going to use, in the box with it, and then again the coffin bangs around inside the box and ends up getting damaged. But this was perfect. Past Generation Toys, they had 6 dolls in one box, and they used the perfect amount of packing peanuts, and these dolls came out great, which was a little bit wasted on me because I rip my boxes right open when I get them, because apparently I'm a 6-year-old little kid or something. But anyways, so today we're going to be doing a review of a pair of dolls that have been out for a little bit now, not long, just a couple months. Rotten Sam and Sandy. Rotten Sam and Sandy. So here we go. Let's bring them on. Wham. And wham. So here we go. Rotten Sam and Rotten Sandy. Obviously based on Raggedy Ann and Andy concept. The coffins are the standard black coffins that we saw with the early dolls. So nothing special. They don't have the handles like you saw in some of the later dolls. So feels pretty classic, pretty clean, really nice. The tissue paper on the inside is yellow. And pretty pristine. Everything seems pretty good. The little chipboard here says, "Rotten Sam and Sandy, your screams to us are like candy." There you go. Apparently I can't read. And then we have a picture of the actual dolls itself, not a drawing. So what's interesting about this, the one negative thing I have to say, is that they use the exact chipboard and coffin for both dolls. So it says Rotten Sam and Sandy. So if you take the dolls out of the coffins, you'll never know which one they actually came from. Which isn't that big of a deal. But, just pointing it out. So let's open these dolls and take a look. I'm going to start with Sam. So here we go. Here he is. Alright, and I would just like to say, I was extremely surprised about these dolls. I actually hadn't purchased these dolls for myself yet, just because, money is tight and a lot of Living Dead dolls come out and a lot of other toys come out, and I am not a millionaire, so I buy what I can. And I kind of let these ones pass me by. And so, not that I didn't like them, I actually prefer kind of the cute, creepy more than the bloody, gory versions of Living Dead dolls. But I don't know. I just I didn't end up purchasing these ones. So when I got them, I was really surprised at how nice these dolls are. And I know that my last review was also extremely positive, but believe you me, I'm going to be putting up a review that's going to be a little harsh in the future. So I'm not just here to kiss butt. Anyways, so here we go. Rotten Sam. Let's see if you can take a look at his face paint. He's got the frown painted on. His face is built kind of like the Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls. The face paint is perfect. No stray paint anywhere, no smears, which you see every once in a while with Living Dead dolls. Very few, though, actually. They do a pretty good job with face paint. He's got rosy cheeks, which is kind of cute. Um, his hair is yarn, which I love a good yarn-haired doll. So I'm pretty happy with that. His hat, the way that they have his hat on, is the bizarre plastic. Here, let me take it off so I can show you. They've been doing this. Oh, of course, this is going to be extremely difficult. They've been doing this a lot lately. Instead of using elastic for the hats, they use this really thin plastic that actually doesn't have any give to it. So it fits pretty snugly, and actually I can already see that it's starting to come a little bit away from the hat, so I'm going to have to be super careful so I don't break it. It works sometimes. This one actually works pretty well because his hair is so thick that it's just long enough that it holds the hat completely in place, which is nice. Some of the other dolls, Peggy Goo, I think, is a really good example. This plastic is actually a pain in the butt because it's just too long and it doesn't keep the hat in place that they want it to. So it's really just like setting this hat on top of their head and hoping that nothing happens and like that you don't bump it because the hat's going to fall off. This one's decent. I still would prefer the elastic over this, the non-giving plastic. Just my 2 cents. So here we go. Here he is, his yarn hair. When we're looking at the yarn hair, it's not well rooted. Here I'll show you. You can see kind of the large bald spots that we have on his doll. However, that's actually pretty necessary with dolls with yarn hair because if you were to actually root it like you would a regular doll hair, the hair would be so thick because, you know, each one of these pieces of yarn is significantly thicker than normal doll hair. So he would have a giant afro sticking out if we were to actually root it the way that you would every other doll. And the hat wouldn't fit on him then. So that doesn't bother me so much, the small amount of rooting, because his hair lays pretty nicely and is actually covered up by the hat anyway, so it doesn't really matter. What's interesting about him is in the prototype photos of Rotten Sam, his hair was actually significantly shorter than this doll is now, and Rotten Sandy's was longer. But they kind of swapped it up. But I mean, I like it. He looks a little feminine, but not too bad. His outfit is adorable. He's got this cute little tie. His shirt, it is one piece. The shirt is connected to the pants and Velcro's down the back. The socks, he's got striped black and white socks that go just above the knee. So they're not painted on, which is nice. Living Dead Doll stopped doing that a while ago, but when they were painting the tights on, I really hated that. I don't know how everybody else felt, but that was something that really bothered me. So I'm happy that they're actually using actual socks. I think the first ones that actually got the striped socks versus the painting was, if I remember this correctly, Jack and Jill, the fairy tale set, Jack and Jill. So yeah, and then he has pretty standard Living Dead Doll's boots as well. The red buttons are a really, really nice touch. Very cute. The outfit is perfect. There's no stray threads. There's nothing. Everything seems to be fitting well. Everything is laying well. This is an extremely high quality Living Dead doll, which blows me away because these, I mean, no offense, Mezco Toys, I mean, well, no offense to anybody, but these are kind of shelf warmer dolls, which happens every once in a while. You know, you put out dolls and then they just don't take off. They sit on the shelves and nobody buys them, which blows me away because these are really excellent dolls. I mean, I'm to blame too. I didn't buy them either, but I highly recommend getting out and getting this guy. And I actually might prefer him even more than Sandy, which is funny because the girl dolls usually sell better than the boy dolls, but he's kind of special, and he's probably going to stay in my permanent collection for a while. So anyways, before this gets way too long, I'm going to pull out Sandy. So here we go. Another extremely high quality doll. She does have a slight case of what the Living Dead Dolls fans refer to as wonky leg syndrome, which means that when they actually molded the dolls, one of the legs ends up getting put into the joint kind of oddly, or it's not formed correctly, and the doll doesn't always stand as well as it should. Here, I'm going to show you a version of wonky leg syndrome. This is one of the Series 24 dolls that I just received, and I don't know if you can tell this on the camera, probably not, but this leg is actually a good size larger than this one. Which makes it extremely difficult to make your dolls to stand. And Living Dead Dolls actually did a little bit to try to remedy this. They made their dolls ball jointed so that you could actually try to get them in a position that can help them stand. Because on the early dolls, it's impossible. If you have a wonky leg syndrome doll, the only thing to do is put something underneath the one foot. Sometimes I stuff things into their shoes if they have shoes. Unfortunately, this poor doll does not have shoes. So she's been a little difficult trying to get to stand. Hers is not so bad, but it is still there. Let's look at her outfit a little bit. It's red with skulls. Very cute. She's got the pretty standard white apron that you see on Raggedy Ann and Andy. She also has the great striped socks that we just talked about and these adorable bloomers with lace on the bottom. The detail is really great. The ever so standard Living Dead Dolls shoes that you see all the way back to the first series. Again, her face paint is perfect. No, missing chunks or anything like that. Everything is lovely. Hair yarn. She's got the pigtails, so the small amount of rooting is actually less of a problem with her, because you're not going to be able to really get in and look at her scalp at all. Her pigtails are a little bit shorter than they were in the prototype, but still really fantastic. You can play with them and they stay in position, which is kind of cute. One of my favorite details about her is actually her pigtail holders. I'm going to bring this really close. See the little skulls right there? They're really cute. So I'm really loving this doll. So she's great. My only complaint is the wonky leg syndrome. So I challenge Mezco Toys to try to figure that one out, because that's been driving collectors crazy for 10 years now. So, yeah. I hate to just do positive things, but these are really great dolls, and I'm very pleasantly surprised. What was interesting about her in particular is they have this new way of, and I've seen it on a couple dolls recently, of putting them in the coffin. They had her hair pulled down kind of like this so she fit better in the coffin, and they had plastic wrapped